What is happening, budget builders, and welcome back to the channel. We're here today with a 1963 Buick Electra 225. It is a 401 cubic inch Nailhead, and this car's been off the road since 1982. Just the other day, my oldest had to get her tonsils and adenoids taken out, so while I was stuck in the hospital, mom and dad made the trip down to Georgia to pull this car home. And in today's video, we're gonna attempt to get it running for the first time in at least 41 years. You know, the car's got a slight amount of rust when the bumper's rusted through. Hey Dad, you wanna check to see what's in the trunk? How are we gonna open it? Oh, there we go. I'm glad the air cleaner was at least on here, because with the race car self-lightening hood here with the speed holes, this engine would have been slap full of water, and it still might be. Oil looks surprisingly not too bad. Smells pretty bad. I think first things first, let's get the vacuum out. Let's vacuum up all of this crud. Let's blow it off, because we don't want to start messing with stuff and getting that everywhere. And then let's go ahead and get these spark plugs pulled. Let's see how the condition of our combustion chambers look, and completely soak them down and let them soak a bit, because I have a feeling hopefully this engine's free. They obviously had different mud down in Georgia, sandier. You can see that kind of grayish sandy stuff going on there. Mud daubers just like to get into everything. We will definitely take care to cover up the carburetor, even though it doesn't look like we're going to be helping anything, because it is slap full. I wonder if these are the original spark plug wires, but it kind of hopefully kept our spark plugs somewhat clean and dry. I'm gonna go ahead and just number them for the heck of it, so we know, so there's no question while we're digging in here what is what. Go ahead and start on this side, obviously because it's the easiest to get to. Oh, that's not bad at all. So this is 2. Oh, beautiful. Look at that old AC46S. Crusty old plug, but the combustion chamber, what we're looking at, looks surprisingly good. Not bad at all. Just a smidge of condensation. See the little green around the tip, and then a little bit of rust around the ring, but that's not horrible. And 8. Excellent. Now when I say excellent, those are some crusty old plugs, but the important stuff doesn't look too bad. Yerk. That's still not horrible. But that's why we do this. If you just started trying to turn this thing over, even though we'll turn it over by hand, I imagine we might have some stuck rings, and you take the chance of just ripping those off. If we soak it down, we let it soak a bit, we still might be able to save things. Here is 5. Not too shabby. Not too bad. Not gonna complain with that. With only one apparent cruster, that is some good signs. We are just gonna go ahead and drown each of these. Let them soak a bit before trying to turn this thing over by hand. 1-inch socket on the crank. I have a feeling, as rusty as these belts and pulleys are, they might snag a bit. Oh, I didn't even have to try. It's like, oh wheel. I talked too soon. They may have been belts. Oh. There it goes. It wasn't a hard stuck, but it was a little stiff. Probably some, oh yeah, there she goes. It may seem silly, but now that this thing is spinning over, before we start cranking over on this thing with the starter and building oil pressure, let's go ahead and get up underneath. Let's drain that oil out. All those years sitting, it looks pretty good, but any kind of sediment or trash that's in there is going to have settled down to the bottom of that oil pan. We don't want to just suck it right up. We want to make sure there's not a pile of sludge in the bottom. So let's go ahead and get it drained out. We can get fresh oil in it. We can start turning this thing over, trying to get it running. If it does fire up and run, which hopefully it will, we can run it a bit and then change the oil again. It's just cheap insurance. He is crunchy. Oh my goodness. That pan might have been sitting down in the... That pan's a little soft. Oh, there she goes. That's not bad. Little bit of condensation you can see right there. So definitely a good thing we're going ahead and draining this. Before we start cranking this thing over, I really feel like we should go ahead and pull this carburetor. It has so much trash down in it. We want to make sure that intake's not just slack full of junk. If it is, we'll get it vacuumed up. And then I'll throw a battery in here, see if this thing will turn over. I don't know what I disconnected that for. Hopefully this doesn't go straight to the floor. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing blew up, did it? Let's see if this starter is any good. There she goes. What is blowing out everywhere? What is leaking? Leaking?
It's gas. Probably still pump.
The transmission fluid?
Huh?
Ah, it is. It's spraying transmission fluid. Awesome. We need to get that looped, but what a good sign. Now that we're spinning over freely, let's go ahead and take a peek and see if we can get fire. Ooh, crunchy. Cap looks surprisingly not too bad. Definitely need to blow some gunk out of that distributor. That is some crusty points. I have found the best way to clean points is not to get in there to try to clean them. Let's just take them out, get a brass wire brush, and get all the gunk cleaned off. Of course, we're gonna try the original points and condenser first, because new parts just aren't worth a darn. If you can keep this old stuff going, might as well just keep it around. Break, make, break. Perfect. Let's see if cleaning some points will get us fire. What's nice with this one is the adjustment is actually in the points. So we'll make sure we're open and closing. Oh, I've already got it. Our points are closed, it's popping like crazy. So our coil's good. Let's see as it spins around if it pops and pops. Popping like crazy. We'll just be using the new AC Delcos that came out of the 401 in our other Buick Electra. These will have to close back down to 35 thousandths, obviously, because we're using stock ignition versus electronic ignition. I am sorry for all the airplane noise. I don't know what it is anymore, but they just come back to back to back. Apparently everybody has an airplane. I know y'all saw what I did.
Don't need no rotor.
Don't need no stinking rotor. Might not need that one. It's a little crusty, but it'd be all right. Let's take a peek at this carter. For one, these secondaries are locked up solid, but we want to know what it looks like on the inside. How was 42 years on a carburetor? Watch this be one of the better looking carburetors we've seen. Fuel was a little different back then. A whole lot less ethanol, that's for sure. Surprisingly, really not bad at all. Even the floats still work. That accelerator though, definitely wouldn't have done anything. But I think we blow this thing out really good. We spray down, get the secondaries freed up. And instead of completely rebuilding it, blow it out and see if it'll actually function just like this. Look at that, quick spray out and air down. I wish fuel was this way today. With our fuel system addressed, let's see if that carburetor takes and holds anything. Ha-ha! Oh yeah, we got gas. Turn it over, fresh oil, ignition, in fuel. 42 years. Are you ready to see if this thing will fire up? Because I know we are. This is always the most fun yet nerve-wracking part. Let's see if this thing will even pop off. What was that? Had to have been the starter, right? This thing got a hole in it or something? It's going poof, poof, poof.
Oh, really? They sound alright. The exhaust has no exhaust.
But it wasn't knocking or anything, but holy moly. That out of the exhaust, or is that the intake? Is this missing?
No clue.
Hey, it's a rubber. Idling away. Pumping oil super strong. That exhaust is leaking like crazy. I can't tell if anything's actually coming out back there. What a torquey old car. I'm not sure how it'll come across on video, but man, that thing is smooth, dead smooth sitting there idling. The exhaust is horrible, but this car is extremely rusty, and that is to be expected. Before this thing gets too warm, obviously we don't have a radiator. I would like to go and see if it at least goes into gear. But it goes into gear and moves. Checking, we are just a smidge low on transmission fluid. It does have flat tires, and this thing does not roll well, which is a good thing because we don't have steering, we don't have brakes. We didn't want this thing just taking off and driving away. It runs and it sounds pretty good, and it's gonna go to rescue so many others. That definitely went smoother than most, especially considering the condition of this car. but that just goes to show the resilience of that 401 Nailhead and a Carter carburetor. But I really hope you all enjoyed the revival. If you have, and you want to see more of these rescues and rebuilds, be sure to subscribe button and notification bell to keep up with our future uploads. And if you have been a part of the channel, following along, we do appreciate it so incredibly much. That's going to wrap it up. Peace out, and catch you all on the flip side.